And you're live.
We're still going to hit a limit, but then other people should be able to view it and just not participate. Okay, so I think we have everyone now. Uh, Thank you for your patience. What we've had to do um, is apparently there's a limit of 10 folks. That's interesting. I'm pretty sure I was on a call with more than that yesterday with principals. The people who are not on the call are viewing the PD via YouTube. If you're watching this via YouTube, you are able to comment on Slack and ask questions. There's actually a very short portion of this PD that's whole group through video. The rest is actually going to be through filming video of yourself, uploading it, and people commenting, and then breaking out into grade level teams, which will be less than 10 people. With that, we're going to go ahead and get started. Unfortunately, on YouTube, there's like a 15-second lag. There may be like awkward pauses, and if you ask a question on Slack, it may feel like I'm taking a minute to respond to you, but I'm not. Shmoy's, I'm getting a message from her that the video is frozen. Shmoy's, you just need to go to YouTube. Thanks, Bennett. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask everyone to just make a comment in the general channel that they hear this and see this. And now I'm going to pause and wait for the lag to catch up. I just want to make sure I have everybody. To just make a comment in the general channel that they hear this and see this. And now I'm going to pause and wait for the lag to catch up. I just want to make sure I have everybody.
Just having way too much fun.
Okay. This is pretty spectacular. You guys are wonderful. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and dive in. And by dive in, I mean hand it off to Miss Kinney, who is going to talk a bit real quickly about the lottery. Then we're going to dive into talking about the house structure, which I'm really excited about. Then we are going to break out into teams. I actually need Hannah Sacco on this call because she's going to be introducing the part of the house structure. So someone who's not presenting right now, would they be able to jump off the actual call and join on YouTube so Sacco can join the actual call? Mr. Williams is volunteering himself. And then Sacco, will you actually join the Google Hangout call? And while that's happening, Miss Kinney, why don't you go ahead and kick us off?
Sure. So I'm not sure if everyone's aware, but next Saturday, January 30th, is our lottery event. So this is going to be a super exciting opportunity. Essentially what it is an opportunity for students to, if we have too many applications, then we have spots to fill. That would be the opportunity that we actually determine via random lottery if students would be able to attend NACS. We are not at that point right now, so essentially the lottery is just an opportunity to make sure that we are getting all of our kids that have applied actually to enroll in our school. So Taylor and Maria have done an amazing job in recruiting kids for next year. Currently, we have about 120 students that are set to, 120 new students that are set to enroll at NACS for next year, which is extremely exciting. I think last year we were at like 12 or 15. So it's a huge jump, and it's a huge opportunity for us not only to sell them on our school, but also to get to meet all of these kids, you know, 7 months before they actually show up at our school. So one of the things that we're going to be doing is really just making it as fun an environment as possible. Our big goal is to have all 120 families that have applied to NACS actually show up. So Saturday, January 30th, it's going to run from 10 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. The big goal for us is to make sure they actually fill out enrollment paperwork and provide 2 proofs of residency in Davidson County. So our whole goal is to get them to fill out that paperwork and to make sure they show up in August. So we're going to do that through a variety of kind of stations. The theme of the event is going to be level up with NACS, so it's going to be kind of a video gamey sort of feel. So we're also going to have a bounce house, a popcorn machine, you know, like wall where they can take pictures with their little Rams things on. The whole idea being that we want it to be extremely fun and extremely exciting and really convince them that this is the right place for them. Miss Bennett has generously volunteered to attend the event and actually do a Scratch sort of hackathon with kids as well. So it's gonna be super fun, and I'm really, really excited about it. But what we really, really need is support from all of you to make sure that this is really fun and exciting and well organized. For those of you that attended the Halloween event, that's kind of the feel that we're going for, just really exciting and fun. But unlike the Halloween event, we're really going to need a lot of attendance to make sure it's extremely smooth, extremely organized, and that we all have an opportunity to talk to our kids and our parents ahead of time. So this is, again, we're going to have every parent of a kid that's going to be attending our school newly next year in one place. So this is an extremely exciting opportunity to start off on the right foot as far as communication and engagement and really getting to know our kids individually. So having said that, anyone and everyone who can attend the event, it would be extremely helpful to have your attendance. So I'm going to be reaching out to you individually to find out if you're available to attend. Again, the date is January 30th. It's next Saturday, and it's from 10 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. Most everything will be set up ahead of time, so we really shouldn't need a huge amount of staff super early, but just those 2.5 hours on that Saturday would be extremely beneficial. So please check your calendars, and like I said, I'll reach out to each of you individually to see if you are able to attend, and I appreciate it in advance because it's going to be super fun, and I'm really excited about it. Any questions about the lottery event?
Genus is being funny on Slack.
Not funny, Genus. You will be there.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ms. Kinney, and I can't wait to see you all at the lottery event. It is an exciting opportunity. I'm going to go ahead and screen share now with the presentation for the houses. And then I'm going to play a YouTube video screen sharing to you through YouTube, which will be fascinating to see what happens. I actually have no idea how this is going to go. Here we go. First thing I want to go over real quickly has nothing to do with houses. The goals that we laid out sort of at the very beginning of this semester. I just wanted to kind of look back on this for a minute. This is obviously posted up in the staff workroom and very visible, but just sort of a quick review. The goals that we had on the initial student survey, we got a 3.5 or higher on about half of the 6 questions that we had really focused in on. Obviously, in response to the ones we didn't meet, we're in part developing this house system. We've already talked about typing. We did not hit our typing goal. We were at 22 words per minute, I believe. The advisory call list, it looks like we're almost there on. This is also an interesting week. Yes?
The people on YouTube can't see the presentation.
Fascinating. Thank you for letting me know that. Folks on YouTube, will you let me know if you can now see the presentation? Actually, better yet, I should go to the oops. Sorry, guys. Okay, we're there. Wonderful. Okay. So anyways, we have some really big goals coming up. Our first big run where there's several coming up here as we approach the end of January. We have several major academic assessments. Of course, we're building kids up and getting them ready for that. Our enrollment numbers, we are not on a track to hit our goal. We are going to be rolling out a new student survey that's just going to be like a pop survey with 5 or 6 key questions. We can make a big dent on those questions by how well we roll out this house program, which is one of the, as I said, the main reasons we're doing this in the first place. The advisory calls and the computer science project goals have been pushed back to this next week just because we didn't have school this week. However, advisory calls were very close to being done there, and I have no reason to think we won't hit that goal. So anyways, I just want to make sure that everyone gets a chance to kind of look back over these and sort of remind ourselves of what our major objectives are coming up over the course of the next month. With that said, I am going to hand the mic over to Hannah Sacco. I'm going to leave my screen casting, although I'm going to go to a YouTube video. I'm going to see how this plays out.
I also sent out that sheet on Slack, so people could just look at the video on their own.
Let's try it this way. I think it would be easier for everyone to be there, but if it stops working for some reason, that's a very helpful thing. Hannah, is there anything you need to say on the front end of this video, or should I just hit play?
I want to hit on the front end.
Okay.
So we wanted to show you this clip from Harry Potter because Harry Potter is the best, but also because this is about to be, for those of you that don't know, the Sorting Hat scene where the students at Hogwarts find out what house they're in, and we wanted to show you this because leading into Monday, when we actually get to tell our students what house they are in, we want as our team to have the same amount of enthusiasm and excitement. You'll notice in the video when they announce which house the kids are sorted into, everyone says yay and they celebrate, and we want this to be a joyous occasion for everyone. For our scholars to know it's very special to us to have them with us in our group. And yeah, so just keep that in mind as you watch and think of this as a very exciting experience.
All right. Thank you, Hannah, for that beautiful introduction and very appropriate sentiment for us to carry as we move into the school-based purpose, which Mr. Bergevin is going to follow through with.
Yes, thank you. And Ryan, if you want to put the presentation back up. So the purpose of, and Ryan's talked about this a little bit yesterday as well, but there are three major purposes to the houses that we're implementing NACS this year. The first of all is the fact that scholars need to have a team within a team. We are one large family, of course, but what's important is that every scholar feels like they are connected to one adult and one small group of students, and by creating that bond in these houses, we're going, it's okay if you can't see the presentation right now, I'm going to say literally everything that's on the presentation. By creating these small teams within a team, we'll give scholars the opportunity to experience that strong relationship that we all wanted to feel. We all had at some point in our life a teacher that we really related to, and we felt like they were there for us. We want scholars to feel that too. The second piece is the data. Scholars get paychecks every week. Scholars get progress reports every week, but we don't take a lot of time to look at that data and explain what it actually means. So in these small groups, we'll have time to talk to students about how do they get their grades, how do they get their merits and demerits, and what goals can they set around all of that. And most of all, it just has to do with the relationships they form in school, both with their teachers and also with other students. They should have the opportunity to feel like they are bonding with the people in their groups, and they are a small team, and when someone has an academic win, we can cheer them all on, and their small group can cheer them all on. And when someone's struggling, the whole small group can give them input on how to improve and hold each other accountable. And so by creating these small families within the school and also giving them this competitive edge of this trip to Gatlinburg at the end, what we're hoping to do is just create the sense of family that we want every student to have walking into our doors every day. Ryan, if you want to talk about the operational side.
Absolutely. All right. So this is going to be great. Each house is going to have a poster that looks like this that's going to be out in the hallway. This shows you the specific data that we're tracking. Everything is like an average per day, so big groups and small groups don't have a competitive disadvantage or advantage. So referrals, demerits, merits, ICS, OSS, which is all our behavior data, and all of that is sort of going to be bundled up into their paycheck along with attendance. Typing and reading logs are going to be the most challenging thing to sort of keep up with just because they're not integrated with School Runner. And then each content teacher is going to pick for the week the grade that they feel like sort of best encapsulates mastery of that week. So I think in math and ELA and history, this is going to be incredibly easy. Science and computer science, this might be an exit ticket, this might be a project. It's whatever best represents that week's worth of data. And the houses will then all get a total score, sort of a formula that all of this bundles up into. And that's how the data is going to be kept up with. So at the beginning of the week, I'm going to kind of walk us through this. You as a head of house will have a spreadsheet that looks something like this. So on Monday morning, start of the week, you're going to have sort of your starting point is all of the academic data from the previous week. Academic data is always going to be a couple days behind just because it takes a few days to get everything graded, of course. So you're going to be able to sit down with your house and you're going to be able to see how they did academically in each class and then what that means as far as their sort of total score so far for the week. So if I were the head of House 1, I would be looking at this and I would be sort of saying, okay guys, look, this is where we're at. We've got 220 points. We're barely in front of Houses 3 and 4, and House 2 is sort of kicking our butt right now. So here's the things that we're going to really need to do, okay? We need to make sure, first of all, that we're not getting any referrals this week because that kills our score. We also, since we have such a big gap to close, really need to focus on merits because that actually gets us points. So what are some merits that we can focus on? Like, why don't we really focus on beautification this week? So I want to see you all like going way above and beyond to be picking up trash, making sure you clean up the hallways, help out in the cafe. And this is sort of how you're building your team up. And hopefully your students are invested in the prospect of winning and getting excited at sort of this roadmap that you're laying out for them on how they're going to get out in front of this and win. Then each day you'll get a sheet that looks like this. The academic data that's gray is not ever going to change for the week. That's where you started, and that will stay the same. However, all of your behavioral data, attendance data, that will fluctuate day by day based on the previous day. And so you'll be able to see each day how your house is doing against all the other houses. So notice right now it appears that house 1 is slightly catching up with house number 2. They still have a little ways to go though. However, house 2's attendance seems to be kind of low right now, so we've got a chance of winning. This is for you to see. You'll obviously be able to, we're not like meeting with our house every single day, but since you're not able to actually meet with your house every single day, that's where these posters out in the hallway come out. There's going to be one person in your house that's going to sort of be designated as the poster updater. I think there was a special word from Harry Potter that was more purposeful than that. I don't remember what it was.
Prefect.
Prefect, thank you. And so anyways, during lunch each day, they're going to get this sheet and we'll be able to go out into the hallway and update their house poster. It'll be laminated dry erase marker, and they'll just update it with the new numbers. So every single day out by the cafe and sort of the main entryway, hallway, all house posters are going to be there. So you're going to be able to see exactly how your house is performing against all other houses at all times, which is going to be a really cool way for kids to sort of keep up with how their team is doing. I think the dream here is that we hear students in a house saying to other students, like, oh my gosh, don't get referred today, please, we're so close to winning. Or, hey, like, let's really go crazy with merits today and see if we can't get ahead of house 2 because I really want to go to this pizza party. And hopefully we really see our students in a house start to build up some teamwork about like, what can we do together to get this number up. The incentives. Every Friday, since we're getting the data daily, it'll be live. So at the end of the week, whichever house has the highest points for lunch on Friday, we're going to order in pizza, we'll do ice cream, we'll do a movie, they get to go in the cafe, and it'll be a fun sort of 30 or 40 minutes to close out the week. That in and of itself is a pretty good incentive. However, there's 2 much bigger ones. At the end of quarter 3, the house with the most points, and we'll be keeping up with this week by week. So this is like sum total over the course of the entire quarter. The house that's got the most points will do a field trip to a skating rink after school one day on a Friday, and they'll all get to go skating. And then the big incentive is at the end of the year, the house with the most points gets to go to an overnight trip to Gatlinburg. And when you're sharing this with your students, you want to really build this up. You get to go hiking, there's zip lines, roller coasters, putt-putt golf, all sorts of really fun stuff to do in Gatlinburg. You may even want to pull up some pictures and video or something to show your kids on Monday to get them super excited, because this is going to be an amazing trip. All expenses trip paid to Gatlinburg is a pretty amazing opportunity. If you haven't ever been there, definitely look it up before you tell your kids, because it is a pretty authentically amazing incentive. One important change, this shouldn't cause anyone any additional work or obstacles, to track data better. Instead of logging referrals on Trello, you are going to log referrals in SchoolRunner. This looks exactly like how you log a demerit. Instead of choosing 1NO, there's a behavior code called referral. So you'll just literally put the kid's name, referral, and then there's a place for comments where you'll leave your notes for Jasmine or Sean about what took place. One important note here, the comments here are teacher-facing. It'll show up on the student's paycheck. So make sure, and the comments that you all are leaving in Trello right now aren't, like things that we didn't share with parents. Just make sure that you don't put something like so-and-so going crazy in class. You want to make sure that you keep it professional, of course, and just name exactly what took place. But this is really nice because it means that all of their referral data will be easier to track in SchoolRunner, and it means it'll be on their paychecks, which I actually think will go a long way with parents understanding what's taking place in class. On Monday mornings, so sort of coming back to this now that you have a comprehensive view of what's taking place, you're going to get their slip ahead of time so that you can sit down with them, and this is going to show them their merits, their demerits, their attendance, ICS and OSS, and then the only thing that's not going to be on here is typing and reading data. And Mr. Genus and Ms. Kinney right now are working on a way to make sure that data is available that's no extra lift on you all as teachers. And if you notice, actually, all of the work that goes into getting this data and sharing it and even updating it doesn't put anything additional on anybody's plate. And hopefully it'll actually really help everyone, including our students, have a lot more ownership over their own data in a way that doesn't require a lot of extra work on anybody. So anyways, that's sort of the logistical structure. I'm going to pause there for about a minute because everyone that's watching on YouTube is a little bit behind us right now. So anyone that has questions, post them on Slack, or if you're on the call, just go ahead and ask them. I have 33 unread messages on Slack. Okay, I'll start reading through there. Anyone on the video call with questions? So Underwood just put down a question about comments. It looks like it's already being answered, but yeah, anything so anything that you put in the comments, teachers can, parents can read either by logging in, and it will also be printed on their slip. You want to put what happened, but just make sure that you don't type anything that you wouldn't also want their parent to see. So if a student's being like continually disruptive and you've given them multiple opportunities and they're still like refusing to sit or put their computer away or whatever could lead to a referral, just put down the facts of like these are the things that happened. Claire's question, how does it work for scholars who can't get OSS because of an IEP? So scholars with IEP can get OSS. They just have a limit to the number of days that they can get. So if a student is on an IEP or not, if they get OSS, that will be on their paycheck just like it has been as an incident. So there won't be any difference, I think, is my point. If a student does hit that limit of 10 days, they just won't be receiving OSS, so there wouldn't be any change there. The scholars are split up. And Vickers just put down an additional comment about students who do hit 10. Okay, so how are scholars split up? I split scholars up. I split them up based on a couple of things. First of all, I just went through SchoolRunner and I looked at contact logs, and I kind of did my best guess of who you've been associating as your advisees all year. So every teacher has a group of students that they've called the most, and so that's where we started. So you're going to have a few people in your groups that maybe you don't have in your homeroom anymore, but that historically you did. As I said earlier, if there's like a student or two that you're like, I don't even know this kid, I had him in my room for a week and now I don't ever see him, we can adjust that if we need to. Then we did a couple of unique groups. Mr. Williams is pulling out a few students that are students he's been working with real closely already throughout the year. Same with Mr. Bergevin, same with Ms. Vickers. And then I did a different group for the students I'm working with, and they actually won't even be competing in this the same way. We have historically not given students a lot of opportunities who are sort of at the top academically of our students in terms of enrichment. And so the students I'm pulling out will be doing something a little bit different. They're going to be learning about database structures and be building a live web application. So they're going to be diving into a pretty rigorous project for the rest of the year that will involve homework, work at school. They'll get some incentives and prizes and some pretty cool stuff throughout the rest of the year. It just won't be the same competition. Everyone is participating with the exception of the group of students that I am pulling out. And I will talk to them and explain to them why they're being pulled out and sort of what they're going to be able to do. Most of these students are students that have asked me for extra enrichment in computer science anyways. So if there are any problems that arise from that, I'll deal with them, but I don't anticipate it. Any other questions? Remington, there's a Google Doc that was sent out. I'll repost the link that has the list. It was in the email that I sent out this past Sunday as well. All right, last piece on this is going to be what we are going to share with our students on Monday. So I'm going to pass it over to Allegra. I'm going to go back to screen share, get the presentation back on. Here we go. Here we go. And take it away, Melch.
Okay, it might be helpful if everyone has, ooh, weird, I'm hearing myself multiple times, if everyone has that Word document that I pulled up, because that has actually example scripting of what I would say potentially on Monday, and I don't want to spend the time during here just kind of reading that out loud, because I know that everyone can do that on their own time, but just kind of overview how we want to roll this out to kids. So I think all of us have agreed that we have a very full day, and a lot of it is academic class, and that's great, but where is the time to build relationships with scholars, and where is the time for scholars to build relationships with each other? And that's one of the main points of the House Cup or the House Cup competition. So in like engaging scholars in their own work, in each other's work, while also making it fun and related to behavior and academics and stuff like that. So the first thing that we want to do on Monday is kind of hook them, and I think that because the House competition is new and interesting, that will be pretty easy to do. So sort of what is the House Cup competition? Ryan just explained the logistics of that, so a little bit of an overview there. Welcome to the example I did on our presentation was Forward House. I'm so excited. We're such a great group of scholars. We're going to do such amazing things, and we're actually going to be competing against the entire school for the rest of the year. So kind of just getting them excited about the fact that it's a competition, that there are prizes every week, and that there is this huge prize at the end of the year, which is the overnight trip in Gatlinburg. But with that hook, you would also play the video that we attempted to play at the beginning of this video call to get them super excited and invested. And I think the really important thing here is to let how excited you are about it shine. So there's a whole lot of autonomy in what you want your house to be like. So that's very purposeful in the way that you should really care and be excited about it, because it is your baby in its own way. Then you're going to go ahead and introduce your house specifically. So once you've laid the foundation for what is a house, we are a team within a team, as Burge said. We are competing against the entire school. Here are the logistics. Talk about why you chose your figurehead. So why your person means so much to you, what he or she did, a quick overview of that, and how that person is going to inspire your house and inspire you to do great, innovative, creative things for the rest of the school year. And kind of you want to anchor every Monday in a trait of that and always bring it back to that person. When did they show grit? When did they face adversity, and how did they overcome that, and how can we learn from that, how can we act in that way, etc. And finally, the coolest part, or one of the things that I'm extremely excited about, is the goal setting aspect. So the investing scholars not only in their own academic and behavior performance, but each other's. So this is a really great opportunity to have them care and work with each other. And Kenny was saying great things. You want scholars to be supporting each other in a positive way here, not saying, you lost us 20 points because you got referred. So like kind of making sure that you're always framing this part in the positive, sending silent support to your teammates, making sure that they put their homework away when they're supposed to, making sure that they're meeting countdowns, encouraging each other with positive, strong behavior. So kind of bringing back to the idea that this house is our team. When something's going well for one of us, it's going well for all of us. And if there's something that we're struggling with, that's, again, also something that we have to work on as a team. So kind of the beautiful idea of this would be that you would have a data sheet and kind of in your head already know what you want to focus on and then guide kids to that conclusion as well. So you're also teaching them how to analyze data, how to look for trends, and it should be pretty clear. As Ryan showed us what those sheets look like. If your team has a 17 and the other 4 houses all 39s there, it's a clear data point to focus on, and kids will be able to see that, which will be super cool. And from then, you can kind of guide the conversation towards a goal. So on an individual level, you will have conversations with all of your house kids, but as a house, you will also have a focus. So maybe one of my scholars' goal is to get 3 merits every single day, but as a house, we are focusing on merits. So that's how you kind of individualize it, but at the same time, make sure that your house is all focused on one specific thing for that week. And then they can then support each other at appropriate times, breaks, lunch, PMA, AMA, anytime during the day where they are allowed to talk to each other, and then also in class sound support, of course. But that will unite them on one focus and then hopefully build them up every single week.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So look, over the weekend, reach out to me with questions. The sort of final note I'll add on this is I would love to see folks get pretty creative here in terms of how you can sort of bring folks together. I know that there's at least one person that asked me about if they could buy like lapel pins for their house. Someone else was talking about having like a secret handshake that their house does to each other. I mean, like the sky's the limit here. I don't want to get very prescriptive and tell everyone to do all these different things. I just want you to do whatever you're most comfortable with, but what you think is going to be best for your kids, of course. So just reach out with questions, over communicate. Okay, thank you so much. Now, what we are going to do, which I'm very excited about, this will be very interesting. We are going to make videos of ourselves. What we're going to do is, if you notice in the agenda I sent out, there's some instructions about how to make a video on your computer and then how to upload it to YouTube. I also uploaded groups. I've split people up into 3 different groups, which you'll see on the general channel up towards the top. So what I want to have happen is I want us to go through and I want us to, first of all, make the opening introduction we're going to give for our house pump-up speech Monday morning. So what Allegra just talked about, whatever you're going to say, whatever you're going to sort of get kids excited about, how you're going to present it, I want you to take time from 11:45 to 12:30 to do this and one other thing. So think about what your opening ceremony is going to look like with your house. Script it, and then you're going to go make a video of it using QuickTime, because you all have your work computers which have QuickTime, which you can do. The instructions are there, and then you're going to add a playlist I've created for today, and the instructions are in the agenda. It's just a couple of steps. It's real simple. You'll upload your video and add it to this playlist, and I put screenshots of exactly how to do that in the agenda. The second video that you are going to create, we have an incredibly important week coming up this upcoming week. We have to simultaneously pull off our final practice round of Tea and Ready while also making up for 3 entire days of missed instruction. It's all going to sort of, one of the key things here is that our timing and effectiveness of our anchor problems and our mini lessons, effectively the teacher talking parts of our lessons, are incredibly tight and thought through. And so I want to use this time to experiment with something. You're going to film yourself doing your anchor problem or mini lesson for your upcoming lesson. For most of you, this is whatever lesson you would have taught on Wednesday. If it's not, your curriculum team's already reached out to you. And you're going to make a video of that, and you're going to upload it as well. So that means each of you will make 2 different videos and upload them and add them to this YouTube playlist that I've created. Then you are going to go look at the video for the other 3 people on your team based on the groupings that I put out on Slack. And you are going to leave glows and grows as comments to those videos. I also ask you on your own video in the description to put a glow and grow for yourself as a point of reflection. So from 11:45 to 12:30, or 11:50 now, to 12:30, you're going to prepare, film, and upload those videos. From 12:30 to 1:15, you're going to review and give people feedback. At 1:15, your grade level team leaders will have sent you a link to their own hangout for 5th grade and a separate hangout for 6th grade. And that will actually close us out for the day. So we won't come back whole group this style. I'm going to awkwardly pause for what seems like a really long time to give everyone a minute to post any questions that they may have. I am reposting the teams right now because there has been approximately 2,087 Slack messages since we started this professional development.
Barry and Alec, if you can work on your Monday hook, given the need to create a lot of energy and excitement on Monday around content going into the week.
Yes, QuickTime will work on any Mac. Yeah, there's a few folks that don't teach lessons as primary lessons, so I didn't assign you to a group since you're not going to be uploading lesson content. So pick a group and use that time to provide the feedback to the videos that are already there. The reason that I would rather you not just do a Google Hangout group is because I actually want it codified so that we can go back and reference it and see each person separately. Yes, Bennett, whichever lesson is coming up next for you. You do not need to stay on the YouTube call for the next hour and a half as we're going through this process. If you have any problems adding the playlist or getting the video of yourself made or uploaded, then you need to reach out to me directly. So we are good to go. I'm going to go ahead and sign this Hangout off. By 12:30, you should have both videos uploaded. All right, on to it. See you guys.